Inflation headlines are everywhere, and right now, millions of Americans are making a decision about what to do with their money. Most of them are about to make it worse. Gold, that's what they said on the ad. Inflation proof. I'm ordering some. Daniel isn't watching the news. He's adding $200 to his index fund, the same thing he does every single month. No matter what the headlines say. Auto invest. Done. Same as last month. By the end of this video, you'll understand exactly why Daniel's approach works and why Drake's gold coins are about to disappoint him. Let's start with what inflation actually is, because most people have a vague fear of it without understanding the specific damage it causes. Inflation means prices rise over time, which means the same dollar buys less. If inflation runs at 3% a year, $1,000 today has the buying power of about $970 next year. After 10 years at 3%, that same $1,000 is worth about $740 in real terms. That's not a scare stat. That's just math. Here's the part that catches most people off guard. If you do nothing, if your money just sits in a checking account, you are guaranteed to lose purchasing power every year. The question isn't whether inflation hurts you, it's whether you do something about it. I've got $12,000 in checking. That's my safety net. And it's shrinking every year he leaves it there. Not the number, the purchasing power. The number stays the same. What it can buy gets smaller. The S&P 500, the 500 largest publicly traded companies in the United States, has returned roughly 10% per year on average over the long run, before adjusting for inflation. After inflation, the real return has historically been around 7% per year. Inflation has averaged roughly 2 to 3% per year over most of that same period. So the stock market, on average, has beaten inflation by about 4 to 5 percentage points annually over long periods. Now, is that guaranteed? No. In any single year, stocks can go down. In 2022, the S&P 500 fell about 18%. Inflation was running close to 8% that same year. So in 2022, stocks didn't beat inflation, they got crushed. But here's the thing Drake misses. We're not playing a one-year game. Over any rolling 10-year period in modern history, a diversified U.S. stock index has beaten inflation. Every single one. The short term is volatile. The long-term trend is up. Time is the engine. Not luck, not timing. I kept investing every month in 2022 when the market was down 18%. My average cost per share dropped. I actually made more money because of the crash, because I kept buying the whole way down, and then the recovery hit. I stopped investing in 2022 because I was scared. And then when the market came back, I'd already missed it. Let's talk about Drake's gold. Gold is often marketed as the ultimate inflation hedge, and over very long periods, centuries, gold has roughly preserved purchasing power. But it comes with serious problems most ads don't mention. First, gold pays no dividends and generates no earnings. You're purely speculating on the price going up. Second, physical gold has storage costs, insurance costs, and can be difficult to sell quickly. Third, gold's actual performance versus inflation and stocks over the last 20 to 30 years has been inconsistent. It has had long stretches of flat or negative real returns. Stocks, by contrast, represent ownership in real businesses that generate revenue, hire people, and grow earnings over time. That's what drives long-term returns. Gold doesn't do any of that. I paid a 15% premium over spot price when I bought these, and now the resale price is lower than what I paid. This is the most common outcome for retail gold buyers. The ad doesn't mention the premium, the storage, or the spread. So, if index funds are the answer, which index funds? This is where Drake gets overwhelmed and does nothing. Here's the short version. You want a fund that tracks either the total U.S. stock market or the S&P 500. Both are broadly diversified, low cost, and have long track records. At Fidelity, FZROX, the Fidelity Zero Total Market Fund. Zero expense ratio. Zero minimum. One of the best beginner options available. Also at Fidelity, FXAIX, the Fidelity 500 Index Fund. Tracks the S&P 500. Expense ratio around 0.015%. At Vanguard or any brokerage, VOO, the Vanguard S&P 500 ETF industry standard. Very low cost. VTI, the Vanguard Total Stock Market ETF. Similar to VOO but slightly broader, includes small and mid-cap companies. I use FZROX, zero fees, tracks the entire US market. I don't need anything else. You do not need more than one fund. You do not need to research individual stocks. Pick one of these, invest consistently, and let the market do the work. The complexity Drake is afraid of? It doesn't exist here. The strategy is simple on purpose. The final piece, how to invest. And the answer is dollar cost averaging, the same fixed amount every single month, regardless of what the market is doing. Not when you feel good about it, not when the headlines look positive. Every month. Automatically, here's why this works. When the market is down, your money buys more shares. When it's up, it buys fewer. Over time, your average cost per share ends up lower than if you tried to pick the right moment to invest. And you never have to make a decision driven by fear or greed, because the decision is already made. Set up automatic monthly contributions in your brokerage account, even $50, even $25. The amount matters less than the consistency. $200 first of every month. I don't think about it. I don't check the news before I do it. It just happens. Here's your inflation fighting playbook. 1. Accept that cash in a checking account loses purchasing power every year. Doing nothing is not safe. It's a slow, guaranteed loss. 2. Invest in a low-cost index fund that tracks the U.S. market or S&P 500, FZROX, FXAIX, VOO, or VTI. Pick one. Stick with it. 3. Set up automatic monthly contributions and stop watching the news. The market will go up and down. Your job is to keep investing through both. Inflation is not going to stop. But a diversified index fund has beaten it over every meaningful long-term period in modern history. That's not a promise, it's a historical pattern. And it's the best tool most people have access to. This video is for educational purposes only and is not personalized financial advice. If this helped you, subscribe. We post a new personal finance video every week. Next, you now know what to buy. But where you hold those investments changes everything. The wrong account could cost you a third of your returns in taxes alone. We'll cover that next.